Hey guys, in this video, we're going to go over the 3 best photos for dating apps and dating sites, and even more importantly, the 7 worst photos you can use on a dating app or dating site. If you're new to my channel, my name is Anna Jorgensen. Welcome to Just the Tip Tuesday. So, as you probably have heard, the first impression is a lasting impression. This is actually a psychological term known as the halo effect. And essentially what it means is that whatever our first inclination is, whatever our first belief, thought, perception of a person, of their photos, of anything, it sticks with us, and it is more difficult to change our mind after we've made an initial impression. So this means that it's far more important, especially on dating sites, to not turn her off by what photos you use. So first we're going to go through the purpose of what your photos are intended to do. So let's start with the goal of your dating app or dating site photos. There are essentially 4 goals. And I actually did an interview with Greg Schwartz, who was the one who told me about these 4 goals, and they make sense, and I agree. So the first goal is basically just to get her to swipe right or click on your profile to learn more about you. So your main photo is critically important. Second goal of your photos is to spark initial chemistry. Now, you can't, of course, do full chemistry until you get to know each other and meet in person, but you need to pass go on the first step, which is your photos. Third goal of photos is to create attraction. So chemistry and attraction are 2 different things. Chemistry can be about both your physicality and what you do, who you are, what your personality is, etc. Physical attraction is really more to do with your physical appearance. And that doesn't mean that you have to be Chad, but it does mean you want to avoid putting certain things in your photos. Okay, and then the 4th goal of photos on a dating app or dating site is to show your attractive, not typical, qualities or hobbies or interests. So basically to express a little bit about who you are in the world. So those are the 4 goals. And essentially your photos, every photo that you choose to put on a dating app or dating site must have at least meet 2 of these 4 goals, or you should really just delete it and leave it off. More is not better. Quality over quantity. So let's get right into the 3 best photos that you must have to have any kind of chance of success on a dating app or dating site. The first one is a clear head or head and shoulders shot. Not head and shoulders with dandruff. That would not be good. No es bueno. But you want to have a clear shot of your face without sunglasses, without anything impeding your being able to see your eyes, essentially. Because women's primary need is what? I've said it in many other videos, it's safety. So if she can't see who you are, she's going to wonder what you're hiding and why, and preferably looking directly at the camera. Okay, the second photo that you want to have on your dating app or dating site profile is a body shot. And again, this is not the spring break tequila body shot. This is an image of you with your full physique in the frame. We're going to go into a little bit more of the do nots later on this, but essentially, you want to let her know what your physical framework is like without revealing too much. So yes, you must be clothed. Next one is, did you guess? Did you guess? What's the third one? Must have. Surprise, it's you looking happy. So I said in my other dating site, dating app video that women do tend to be more attracted to men who look stoic or mysterious or serious. But you also need to have a photo in there of you looking happy. Now, that doesn't mean even necessarily smiling or laughing, only if it's genuine. If it's genuine, you don't even have to be looking at the camera as long as it's clear that you're having a good time, because happy is more attractive than depressed. And I know that's a struggle. I have other videos that will help you with depression and anxiety. So look for those. I'll put a link below. Anyway, so you want to make sure that you have a photo in there of you doing something, a hobby, some kind of an interest, with you in the shot looking happy. Okay, so those are the 3 must-haves. And then, of course, you can include some others that represent the rest of your life. But here's what you definitely don't want to have in your profile. So these are the 7 worst dating app, dating site photos that you can put in there unless, and there's a caveat, I'm going to give you the caveat at the end of the video. And actually, I'm going to do this in reverse order. So this is sort of reverse order. In other words, we'll go to number 7 first, and then we'll count down to the number 1 worst photo you absolutely do not want to have in your profile unless. Okay, number 7, photos of stuff without you in the image. So her translation into what this looks like when you put a picture of your dog or your car or your house or the beach or a landscape or a mountain or whatever, something with you not in it, is basically nada. It's just a swipe left, especially if it's your profile picture. Don't ever put these in as your profile. You might, if you're a professional photographer or you have a hobby that's like super critical and it's a deal breaker if she's not interested in that, that's when you're going to put that in there. But otherwise, you want to keep those photos to a minimum, if at all, because her translation will be that you are either super, super interested in that particular topic and or that she must be also interested in that example in order for her to qualify for your life. And that might be, she might not be that interested. So make sure you know if it's a deal breaker or not. Number 6, a photo with you with all your guy friends, especially if they're better looking than you. First of all, she's going to be confused, like trying to figure out which one you are, especially if it's your main profile picture. So definitely don't put that in as your main profile picture. You can put it in later on, again, as long as you're the best looking dude in the bunch, because you don't need to create competition for yourself. If she's clicking to your other photos, then that's a good thing. You don't want to turn her off along the way. So if you do put a picture or all sorts of pictures of you with your buddies, then she's going to assume, her translation will be, that you don't think you're that good looking, especially if you have a photo with somebody else who's better looking. So you're maybe trying to pull a bait and switch, or she's just not even going to think about it because it's too much work to figure out which one you are in the group. So caveat on that. And again, if you do have a photo of you with a bunch of guys and you're the same level of attraction of your guy friends or better looking, well, then sure, you can throw that one in later on to show that you do have friends. But there's other ways of indicating that in photos as well. Okay, now the next one is number 5. Kind of the opposite would be, well, maybe not the opposite, but another photo of you far away, like on a mountain or way far in the distance. If there's no other photos of you closer up, then she's going to wonder, what you're trying to hide, or if, you're insecure about your body, or if maybe you're not that physically fit. Again, that's not the end of the world, but she wants to know what you're representing here. So you definitely want to make sure that you have some closer up shots. If you're going to throw one in with far, far away, make sure again that it meets at least 2 out of the 4 out of the goals for photos on dating apps and dating sites. Number 4, drunk photos. Photos of you drunk or passed out or clearly drinking a lot. Again, unless, well, I'm going to give you the unless. The unless and the caveat comes at the end of the video, so stay tuned for that. So generally speaking, especially if you're looking for a relationship, you don't want to put photos of you in there where you're drunk or doing anything else of a similar nature, legal or illegal, because her translation on that is simply going to be that drinking is so important to you, or that kind of lifestyle is so important to you, that you have to actually put it in your profile. So she's going to assume you're either an alcoholic or immature and not really ready for a relationship. And again, there's one time where this might not apply. I'll share that with you if you stick around. Okay, next one. Number 3, puppy love. Oh, we love it when a man loves a puppy or his dog, but we don't want it as his main photo, especially when it's like, oh, here's my dog in my photo and every other photo therein. Why? Translation is that you are either insecure. Sorry, I know this one's going to trigger a few people, but either insecure or overly dependent on your pet. And that makes her wonder if she'll ever be a priority. Can she be a priority to you, or is the pet going to be your priority throughout the relationship? Initially, of course, you need to take care of your animal. You're a pet owner. There's responsibilities, care, and love. But at the same time, you need to be able to make room to eventually, if you're going to be with someone, especially long term, that they need to actually be the priority. Okay, next one. Especially as your main photo, you don't want to have a head and shoulder shot or head and face shot that is grainy in the shadows or really outdated, maybe from 10, 15, 20 years ago. Some of y'all, I know, I've seen them. because then she doesn't know what you look like. She doesn't know what you're representing. And especially if it's your main photo, she's just going to swipe left or she's going to click away from your profile without investigating further. If she can't see your eyes, especially directly at the camera, then that triggers her safety mechanism. Women's primary need is to feel safe. If you are trying to obscure yourself, she will either think that you're a shreddy killer or that you're hiding who you are from the law because you're a criminal or you're married or for some other reason that doesn't make her feel safe. So you definitely don't want to have a photo, especially your main photo, where she can't clearly see your face and eyes. And the number one worst photo that you can put on your dating app or dating site profile is, except where there's going to be an exception, so stay tuned for the exception, is the selfie, especially the bathroom selfie, especially the shirtless bathroom selfie. Why? Because this translates into you having no friends, being overly vain, being shallow, just looking for a hookup. Which brings me to the caveat or the one exception. If you are only looking for a hookup and she's only looking for a hookup, then some of these are just simply not going to apply, like the bathroom selfie. So that's really where you want to cut it off. And if you actually are, here's a bonus tip for you. If you actually are just looking for a short-term or very, very, very short-term relationship, put the toilet seat down and clean up your bathroom. Like, that's such a turnoff. It's like, ew, germs. So, yeah, I mean, if you're Chad, maybe you don't have to do that, but still, it's kind of gross. Sorry. Sorry, Chads. Sorry, Tyrones. Now, if you want a whole bunch of other tips for dating apps and dating sites, then you want to get my Double Your Online Dating training program. It's a video program. I think it's only like $10 US, so it's like cheap like borscht used to be. And it'll give you a lot more tips on your photos, your write-up, if you're going to put a write-up in, your introduction message to her, if you're going to reach out to her first, if it's one of the sites that you can, as well as first date ideas and follow-up. So check that out. I'll put a link below. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you next week.